Get into the Week 15 tiers. I will show you who's facing elimination this week.
Chiefs.
Go ahead.
This is unreal.
Wow.
This is This is a sad day for the show, really.
It's for the show, for my kids' 529 plans. For
You got into that?
well, this is running out of pots of money to pull from. For everyone involved.
But it's
If the Chiefs lose this
factually
week, their
true.
season's over.
Weak.
They'll have a little E next to them on the graphics, eliminated.
Ugh.
The Bengals, somehow, if the Bengals win out, they're super alive. They're 4-9, but if they win out, they're alive, but they have to win out. They're both facing elimination. Oh, how we yearn for the days of back-to-back conference championship games between these two once proud franchises. Really, one proud franchise and the Bengals. Quarterback quandary. So here's the deal. The quarterback quandary in Indianapolis is quite simple. We had a guy having a great year who tragically popped his Achilles. We had a third-string guy from Notre Dame who got hurt. Meanwhile, our top 5 pick, who was supposed to be our franchise guy, hit himself in the face with an exercise band before a game and broke his eye socket, so he can't play. So in walks 44-year-old Phillip Rivers. Oddly, the Colts quarterback situation, simpler than the Ravens.
True.
We have one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time,
True.
who seems to have mysterious nagging injuries but isn't listed as being injured and also can't play anymore. And we just had a 3-minute argument about whether he has been the 32nd or 30th worst quarterback in football over the last month.
What do the numbers
It's
say?
been bad.
There's a difference.
36
There's
is what
a
the numbers say. Either way, we're in a bad spot. Decade droughts. The last time the Pittsburgh Steelers won a playoff game was 12 months after the last time the Panthers won a playoff game, which might sound bad for the Panthers. It's actually worse for the Steelers.
Yeah.
It's like, wait,
Absolutely.
that Cam Newton Super Bowl was only a year earlier than your last playoff win. So they're both trying to break it. They both could. I think one of them, the Steelers, are likely to make the playoffs. I don't think he's breaking their drought. Who do you want to be? Eagles or the Cowboys? And here's what I mean. And KW is going to hate this. Who would you rather be moving forward? Which franchise? Which franchise would you rather be right now at this moment in time? The Cowboys, who seem to have found their coach, who know they have their quarterback, who have the building blocks of star players, like either locked up or going to be locked up, or the Eagles, whose best receiver we think is on the move, whose star running back seems to be, not a star running back anymore, who's, we don't know if they have, we all assume, well, they're going to obviously change coordinators again, so it'll be 8 coordinators in 8 years, whatever it is for Jalen Hurts. Question about the quarterback, question about, I'm just curious,
I
moving
would
forward,
still go with the Eagles.
because of ownership.
And better management.
The GM's great,
Yep.
but it all of a sudden,
Super Bowls.
but
every other year they get to the
hold
Super
on,
Bowl.
but it's moving forward. We know what the past has been. I just think it's closer than you think about who has a brighter outlook for next season.
Sure.
And I think for both of them for this season, we're not going
It's a
anywhere.
rough day.
That's the hottest take.
That's a hot one.
Brew, you're gonna like.
Shador.
You're
Hotter
gonna.
than your team.
Right.
Brew. I thought this was rude of Marshall, to be totally clear. Cute teams. The Bears and the Bucks felt like a real night.
Bears.
It felt like, yeah. So listen,
Wow.
right now, the committee feels both of these teams are in the same bucket. Expect them to be in the playoffs. Would be shocked if they make the Super Bowl. And I know that's how you feel. I obviously strenuously objected because I picked the Tampa Bay Bucks to go to the Super Bowl. But that's where they have them. Banged up but battling. Chargers, Lions, Niners. The title speaks for itself. These are 3 teams that have been fighting through it all year. The Lions, once again, are banged up on the defensive side of the ball, but also some offensive injuries. The Niners been ravaged by injury, and the Chargers, cluster injuries on the offensive line. Still, tough out every single week. Potentially, you're going to get at least one of these teams makes the playoffs. Right now, the odds are 2 of them do, and there's a chance all 3 do. Next, importance of charisma. And here's what I mean. Think about the PR difference these 2 teams get because of the charisma of one of their coaches versus the other. People watch D'Amico Ryans, they're like, I would go play football right now for that guy. He looks great, he's flexing, he's yelling at people, the team's playing great, they have 8 wins. Then people watch Liam Cohen, they just hear Duval in their head all the time.
It's a locker room videos are getting there.
Right, exactly. But people are like, we don't believe in the Jags. It's just, if you had D'Amico Ryan's look and personality, and you flipped them, people are like, man, that Jags team is tough. I think Jags team is tough. I also think Texans are tough. All right, now we're going to have themed the rest of the way. The most to gain, the Patriots and the Broncos. Gain a 1 seed, gain making a Super Bowl with your second-year quarterback, for Sean Payton validating a preseason prophecy, if you will, for the Patriots, really, truly saying we are back where our fans believe we deserve to be. The most balance, the Seahawks and the Packers. So feel like they can run on you, they can throw on you, they can play good defense, they can turn you over, they're well coached. The most pressure, the Buffalo Bills. There is no team in football under more pressure to make a Super Bowl than Buffalo. If they wake up and the postseason does not have Patrick, Lamar, or Joe, and what's sitting between them is 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers, maybe 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, and then a bunch of kids. And then at the top of the tiers, once again, coach, the most talent. It's just the best team in the league with, in my opinion, the 2nd or 3rd best coach in the league. The guy who's going to win MVP at quarterback, great receiver duo, underrated defense. That is
really trying to speak that MVP into existence. They have the most talent, and yet Josh Allen has comparable or better numbers. Shouldn't then he be the MVP because he's doing more with less? Doesn't that make him more valuable? He also doesn't have the 2nd or 3rd best coach. Just saying. But yes. At the core of it, there's nothing inherently wrong with it. Call me crazy, but I still think the Chiefs are a lot better than where they're at. Like, call me crazy, but like, if the Chiefs play the Texans again, I'm like, I'm probably picking the Chiefs. If the Chiefs playing the Panthers, the Steelers, if they play the Cowboys again, the Eagles, the 49ers, I still don't think the Chiefs are like this bottom of the barrel team. I mean, I don't know, maybe the floor falls out from underneath them, but like, when you had the amount of drops that they had in that game were an outlier to me. Just like how all those turnovers from the Eagles was an outlier. Kind of the Sam Darnold, although that's been a little bit of Sam Darnold's history. It's somewhat, when he played the Rams. Like, when you have such like an extreme outlier situation, I'm just a little bit more forgiving or really try to bring a little bit more nuance to that. And it's just like, I don't know. Like, Nick just said the whole thing, like, who would you want to be, the Eagles or the Cowboys? And it's just like, right now, not trying to talk about like in the future of like moving forward next year and beyond. Like, right now, what team would you rather be, the Ravens or the Chiefs? Like, who do you really think right now has a better chance? And I don't care about schedule. I don't care about will the Ravens have the ability to win the division and the Chiefs don't. Like, I'm not talking about that. I just mean quality of team, because this isn't the standings, as they always say. So it has nothing to do with that. And maybe facing elimination has to be a little bit more literal, because like they could literally be eliminated from the playoffs in a way that the Ravens aren't necessarily. So like I get that, but I don't know. I don't know. But and putting the Bucks above the Cowboys and the Eagles makes absolutely positively zero sense. There's 1,000% zero reason to put the Bucks above the Eagles and the Cowboys. Absolutely zero sense. And putting the Bears and the Bucks on the same level makes absolutely zero sense. At this point, the Bucks should be down there with the Steelers and the Panthers, and I don't even know if we want to even put those teams down there. The Steelers are such an interesting team because they have an old quarterback. And so at any given moment, he can rewind the clock back and look amazing. And the next moment, he could look like he's 75 years old, right? So you're just like, that just always will become difficult to try to figure out, how do I make sense of this offense, this quarterback situation? I absolutely positively loved what I saw last week. Will that continue? Can it continue? I have no idea, honestly. The Panthers are easily the hardest team to try to evaluate. Like, who could have any confidence or doubt for that matter? To me, the Panthers and the 49ers are the two. And ironically, they played each other, and the Panthers looked terrible. Then the Panthers beat the Rams. Like, it's just, I don't know how to make sense of any of it. But the 49ers and the Panthers, for two completely different situations, are just so insanely difficult for me to try to make sense of in any stretch of the imagination. Again, the Chargers, they're banged up but battling, which is true. And again, that was such an amazing and impressive win against the Philadelphia Eagles. But again, the Philadelphia Eagles also had 5 turnovers and a missed field goal. And you're just like, and you still needed overtime field goal. And the Eagles were set up to win. A little bit better execution, they win that game. So it's just like, I didn't look at the Chargers and think to myself, they can sustain this. I mean, Justin Herbert is literally getting walloped on an already broken, surgically repaired hand. Like, that's just crazy to me. And I think it's so impressive what he's been able to do, but can they sustain it? The defense is legit. Will the O-line improve? Will it get healthier? Like, that means everything to me. That will decide, can they handle, can they beat a team like the Chargers, or can they surpass a team like the Texans, which will be interesting to see, the Jags, the Broncos, et cetera, et cetera. And so the Chargers have some true feel-them-out games. The Broncos, and even the Chiefs still, and the Texans. We're about to get, over the course of those 3 games, like, we're going to figure out a lot about the Chargers there. And even a team like the Texans, it's the way how that offense is playing right now. Like, it's also hard to have a lot of confidence in them. I was incredibly impressed with what CJ Stroud did against the Kansas City Chiefs, especially with all the pressure that he was facing as well. He was getting lit up a lot. He was actually pressured more times than Patrick Mahomes, and I think he did a great job of handling with it. And obviously that defense is unbelievably amazing to watch. Yeah, I think anytime your defense is just not giving you what you need, there's just always some level of uncomfortability there. And yeah, I don't know. But it is interesting. I guess I just don't feel confident in many of these teams right now. And that's why it's like, I am the most confident in the Los Angeles Rams because of who they have, because of the talent, because of the coaching, because of the quarterback, and because of all those things together. It's like, I'm not confident that the Bills are actually better than the Broncos, the Packers, the Seahawks, because I'm not confident in the Bills. I'm confident in Josh Allen, but I'm not confident in the Bills. The Packers have been playing really great right now, undeniably, but they also have had a lot of pockets of kind of question mark game, head-scratching games. And you're kind of like, so it's just, at this point of the season, I'm just constantly looking at it through the lens now of just like, well, how are you going to be in January, right? Like, how are you going to be in the wild card round, the divisional round? And I can't shake that right now. I just can't shake that feeling with any of these teams. Honestly, with any of these teams, I have no idea how the Jags are going to play in the playoffs. I have zero idea. I have no idea what the Packers look like right now in the playoffs. Like, I just have no idea. It's going to be great to see the Broncos and the Packers play each other. I have a stronger sense of what I could expect from the Rams in the playoffs. The only question mark, ironically, is Matthew Stafford, mainly because of his age and what he's shown, especially in poorer weather games. And so if he's at home and it's all warm and nice, then it's fine. But if the weather's a little dicey and it's a little bit cold, then you should be a little concerned. If you're a Rams fan, you should be like, it's pretty freezing in Green Bay right now. Like, that is a real effect that Stafford, especially recently, has struggled with. Like, that is undeniably. And so that's the only thing that could kind of shake that. If they're at home and they have home field advantage and all things are going well, then it's like, okay, you can have a lot more confidence in there. But I'm excited to see what the Seahawks and the Rams rematch look like, honestly. So, yeah, it is. It's a weird one to see all these teams and just look at them and just be like, man, some of these teams I absolutely like. I can say, like, I love the way the Rams have been playing. I love the way the Seahawks have been playing. The Packers, the Patriots, the Bills, the Texans, the Jags, right? Like the 49ers, the Chargers. And it's like I can keep going on and on and on, but then still have such a lack of confidence in any type of evaluation or conclusion. Even the Cowboys, it's like on one side I'm like going into that game against the Chiefs, I was just kind of like, we don't really know how good they are, this, that, and the third. Are they good? Are they not? Are they more fool's gold? Is it more of like what we've seen in years past, et cetera, et cetera? Then they win, and I'm kind of like, well, we'll see. The Chiefs are not that good, obviously. They're struggling to win, et cetera, et cetera. They're not even a playoff team. Then they go against the Lions, and then they do get rocked. But then are you like, well, that was just kind of a little bit of a tough game, a little one-off, like CD goes down, and Pickens is a little, disengaged, and did they have a defensive player that was down for them? I think they had an edge rusher down. I forget now off the top of my head. And you're like, well, I don't know. Can they recapture that juice that they had? Was that juice misleading because part of it was built off of beating, I think, the Raiders, which obviously who cares about that? But then the Eagles, which everyone's beating the Eagles, and beating the Chiefs, everyone's beating the Chiefs. So it's like, I don't know right now. So, it's kind of what happened a little bit in 23. When the Cowboys beat a couple teams that you're just kind of like, well, you're not really actually beating good teams right now, even though you think they are. And it's just, well, I don't know. I'm still optimistic about who the Cowboys are right now or what they're capable of achieving. And now they have a pretty easy, a collection of easy games that can now reinforce that and still make them feel like, hey, this is legit. They're potent. Let's go. And kind of same thing with the Eagles potentially, where now they're playing some bad teams, and it's like they could rock them or beat them convincingly, and you're like, all right, they figured some stuff out now. Like, this is good. And it's just like, well, it was the Commanders and the Raiders. So, I don't know. It is messy. I feel like it's week 2 right now, week 3, where we have just such a mix of random games. It's like, oh, the Rams destroyed, the Raiders, but like the Raiders aren't very good. But then they had a tough game against the Panthers, and it's like, are the Panthers good this year? And it's just like, I don't really know who any of these teams are right now. You're like, Geno Smith looked kind of bad. I expect the Packers to be good, but Jordan Love only was okay in that game. And you're just like, how do I list these teams right now? Because I'm using too much of what I saw last year, which really doesn't matter. And then this year, it's like, it's a very weird collection of 2-3 games. And that's kind of how I feel at this point of the season, where I'm just like, I don't know. And then moving forward, the teams that these teams are playing right now are like, it's a little bit of a mix. So I do think we have some clarity games. Patriots, Bills, Packers, Broncos, Chiefs, Chargers. Like we do have some really interesting clarity games. Even the Bears going up against the Browns, that defense and whatnot. Curious to see what Ben Johnson has up his sleeve for a game like that, for a defense like that. Can the Chicago Bears defense disrupt Shador, right? Make him look like a rookie quarterback. Yeah. And will Phillip Rivers lead the Colts to the promised land? So many questions. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Nick's tiers headed into week 15? Who do you think should be raised up? Who do you think should be dropped down? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.